Let's talk about these rooms. Like, how you get in these studios room?
Y'all gonna post this and they gonna goddamn crucify me.
How y'all feel about Instagram bots?
I'm not gonna say I'm 100% against them. And that's just another way to get extra sales.
Paying other people to promote?
I don't know if I can talk about it. This is how you can find A&Rs for certain
damn. I don't even think
artists and stuff like that.
All right, welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm with JB.
What's good?
And we with a female producer. I think this our third? Second. Who the first one?
Tasha Couture.
Yeah, so this our second one. We got a female producer in here. Produced for NLE Choppa. The song is Depression. Light Skin Keisha, Top Me, Saucy Santana, Taliban Duda, that's how you say his name. 42 Doug. And she got some unreleased stuff with Coil Ray and some other artists. We got Monique Winning.
Yes.
And so I feel to be the second female producer up here.
It feels kind of, I don't want to say surprising, but it just feels kind of like an honor because there is like a couple out there doing their own thing. So I'm honored.
So like name a couple female producers, bro, because I don't know too many. Like just go ahead and shout them out real quick.
Well, there's a lot. Like I just see on my timeline on Twitter and Instagram. You know, me for example, I'm trying to think of some who support me off the rip. Just a lot of people who I follow on Twitter, like Raven K, Maya Maida. Those are two who definitely support me the long way. But yeah, those are two I want to shout out right now because they definitely been supporting me since the beginning. So
for sure. So you real big on selling beats. I be seeing you like selling a lot of beats on Instagram, YouTube. You real vocal. You got an eBook too. So I don't know, man. We really finna just dive into it. So you could just tell us like where you from and how you got started into making beats.
So I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I'm not from nowhere like really popping like that. I started making beats. Well, I've always been into music, but I sucked at like singing, rapping, songwriting, dancing. So I was like, okay, let me try to do the production side of things. So one day I was just on my phone on GarageBand just trying to do some, can I curse?
Yeah, you should.
Trying to do some shit, but I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's kind of fun. So I just kind of stuck with it. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, I want to get kind of serious about it. And then I downloaded FL Studio one day and here we are.
So like who was like bigger like producers you was looking up to at the time?
Definitely at that time it was Metro Boomin because he had just dropped Without Warning with 21 Savage and Offset. And so, like, I studied that album from, like, top to bottom. And I was like, I definitely feel like I could do some shit like this. So Metro Boomin definitely definitely a trendsetter for me.
How long would you say the journey was from GarageBand to where you at right now?
Like, in terms of, like, getting placements or, like, getting seen?
Yeah, just, like, getting serious. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for getting serious, maybe, like, I don't know, maybe like 2 months.
2 months?
Maybe about 2 months. Because I was on my phone. I remember I started making beats in like May. Because it was like my senior year of high school and I hated being in class. So I was just trying to do something to like take my mind off of being in school. So it was like in May. And then during that summer, I just had so much time. So I was like, okay, I want to really lock in and kind of get serious about this. So yeah, it was in the summertime.
So how your like parents react to you wanting to be a music producer?
You know, pretty, well, I guess I won't say typical, but pretty not supportive of it. Like, what do you mean that's what you want to do? I thought you was going to go to college and do this, and this. So when I told them that, they were just like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. Like some hobby type shit. But then once I started popping or whatever, my dad was like, still like, I don't understand why you're doing that. Like, I don't understand why you just won't go get a normal job and go to college and stuff like that. And my mom, she's like kind of supportive, but like not really in a way. It's just kind of weird with her. It's like some moments she'll support me and then other moments she'll give me like the cold shoulder, like, oh, that's cool. So I don't know. So that's what I deal with.
So like after high school, like what's that like for you?
In terms of like figuring out my life or like what?
Yeah, like just like where you go from there as far as being a producer?
Really, I was just in my room making beats every day, still working the job, this little fast food job. So I would be in there talking like, yo, like, y'all, I really want to be a producer. Like, I don't even want to work here no more. Like, this is what I want to do. I believe in myself. And they used to like really laugh at me and make jokes and be like, Mo, can you make a beat out of this? Like, that little corny stuff. So I was like, okay, y'all making fun of me now, but telling you, I'm gonna quit this job one day and my whole life is gonna be different. So
what were some ways you was like improving your sound? YouTube?
definitely I was always watching like Internet Money, you guys, who else? KBZ, Cody, basically anybody who was like really putting out consistent content, I was watching their videos.
So what came first, like you being a full-time producer or like a placement?
Well, how can I put it? So I was actually working early last year around, that first quarter, but I didn't really quit my job until I had gotten into this car accident or whatever. So that was the only way I was able to tell my mom, like, look, I'm finna quit the job I'm working and I'm just gonna go ahead and continue doing what I'm doing. Because when I would try to tell her while I was working my fast food job, like, hey, I wanna quit, I don't wanna work these jobs anymore, like I wanna take this kind of serious, she would just tell me like, no, you're not doing that. So it wasn't until I got into this car accident where my mom was really convinced, like, okay, you can quit that job and just focus on what you're doing if that's gonna make you happy. So that wasn't until like August. No, that wasn't until like May of last year.
Okay, so now you a full-time producer. So like that very next day, like what's your like what are you doing? Like what's different from yesterday?
Honestly, nothing. I'm still putting in the same amount of work, still grinding. Cause at that time I was like just randomly getting a lot of beat sales when I had gotten into my accident. So I had took like maybe like a week or two off from my job. And then they were like, hey, are you gonna come back? And I was like, no. So at that time, I was just getting like a lot of income coming in. And so after I had recovered, I just went back to work, like, making about maybe 6 to 8 beats a day, uploading them to my store, stuff like that. Working on beats for placements, trying to send beats out for placements, stuff like that.
So how much was you like making off of beats at this time?
Maybe like, I don't know, at least 2,400 just from my Instagram for sure. So maybe like 3 to 4K just off of basic stuff, like uploaded, posting snippets on Instagram, trying to sell beats on Instagram.
No, that's fine. I tell producers like if you making a living doing what you like to do and you straight, it don't matter how much you make, like you're in a winning position.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's dive into like the business model. So like let's start with like BeatStars. So that's what you was selling on BeatStars?
Right.
So like how many beats should you start off with when you selling on BeatStars?
I don't even know. Cause okay, I used to like be very weird about my beat store. Like, I'm like, okay, if I don't like the way this beat sounds anymore and I feel like it doesn't match who I am today, I'm just gonna delete it. So I would do that a lot. So I think I had like maybe less than 100, but more like 50. But I would just keep deleting them.
So would it be good for like a producer to have like 10, 15 beats on there starting out? It should have at least like 50, 30.
No, absolutely. If your beats are hard and you're confident in them, put them up for sale. Like, don't wait until you get X amount of beats. Just start trying to get them for sale now. Because with the way the whole marketplace is, even if you got like 2 beats up, like if you have the right metadata and all that shit, you can get a sale. Like, so.
So I seen on your website you had, is it 4 licenses you have on there? Or?
I don't even remember. I think it's like 4. Yeah, it's 4. The MP3, Wave, Unlimited, and Exclusive.
So like explain those licenses. Cause I think producers get, especially like newer producers, I think they spend too much time on like, you know how like on BeatStars is like, okay, you can sell exclusive rights or like radio broadcasting rights. Like kind of explain those licenses, like the difference between them.
Okay, so with me, I like to do the MP3 and Wave as 2 separate things because the way I market my licenses, I market the MP3 as like the standard and the Wave as like a higher quality for maybe like what, $20 extra. So somebody's gonna see, oh, well, this is actually gonna be, higher quality and it'll best suit me for if I'm trying to upload a song to like streaming services. Let me go ahead and buy that. So now I just made like $20 extra from something that somebody would have sold for maybe just the MP3. And then I do the unlimited license with the MP3 Wave and the track stems. Because if you're serious about making a song, 9 times out of 10, you're going to want the track stems. So a lot of people just buy the unlimited. So they don't have to worry about, all these numbers and and how many video streams and all that. So they just get the unlimited for $100. So, and then the exclusive.
So like, do you really track like the limitations on the lease? Let's say somebody buys a MP3 lease and they go over the numbers. Like, do you really track all that stuff down? Or?
Honestly, no. Like, people ask me that all the time, and I'm just like upfront, like, no, I don't, because I'm so busy like doing my own stuff. I don't have time to see, did Lil Tay Tay get 1,000 streams? Let me tell him he need to upgrade. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, no.
So I seen like on your website you had, I think it's like a soul pack where you have like a pack of beats for a price. So kind of like talk about that.
So I've been lately getting into making like beats that I feel like are old on my store and kind of outdated. So what I'll do is I'll just put them in like this little beat bundle for like an irresistible price. And that's just another way to get extra sales from beats that people may think are like throwaways or something that's just sitting on my computer. Make extra money off of it.
All right, so let's get into some sauce. So like, let's say Bricks, for example. We're gonna use a industry producer, for example. Like Bricks was very vocal on like, and don't be selling beat packs or don't be giving away free beats. And like every producer had their opinion, but like, how do you feel as far as like the business model? Like we have beat packs being sold like 10, 15 beats for like $30 or like giving away free beats. Like, what's your input on it?
I say do it. I feel like if something's working for you, a marketing or sales tactic is working for you in your business and that money is coming into your bank account and you're able to pay your goddamn bills, I say do it. Like, I do it myself because I believe in, it's just like when you go to the mall, like, are you going to buy something from somebody standing on the side saying, hey, I got such and such product for this and this price. Here, you want it? 9 times out of 10, you're going to say no. But if they give you like a free sample or something and you're like, okay, I'm interested in that. How much is the price? It's just, you got to look at things like that in terms of business. Well, that's just how I feel.
Let me ask you this then. So how does a producer justify their prices? Like if you just started and you're like, yo, I'm finna sell leases for 200. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you justify your price? Do you look at your brand and look at your catalog?
Well, honestly, I won't say I'm completely against producers saying like, oh, I want to price my beats for $100 flat MP3. I'm not against that. That's what you believe. That's what you feel like, your beats are worth. Power to you. But I believe in what I do is I look at the standard price and I look at me as a brand and I look at the quality of my work and that's how I determine my prices. Because I don't want to make something too expensive to where somebody can't, afford it. So that doesn't help me. I ain't making no money.
So let's get into so you have your beats, you got your beat page, you got your Instagram, you got all that. But as far as like posting beats on the BeatStars, like what is your mixes like? Because I know a lot of times like when you posting on YouTube, you gotta have like a real good mix. You know what I'm saying? But like let's say like industry producers who sending out for placements, they might have just like levels right and then let the engineer worry about it. So it's like, what's your mixing process like?
Honestly, for the most part, sometimes I'll like try to overthink it. Like, oh, okay, if I'm sending this out for such and such, I gotta turn this and this down. As of lately, I just keep everything the same because, if nothing's clipping, it's not too loud, it sounds good on the phone, it sounds good in the monitors, it sounds good on the laptop, I'm cool with it. I don't really look too much like, oh, well, this gonna be played in the studio, this gonna be played on my store. No, it's pretty much just all the same.
So you don't add nothing to the master?
No, no.
Nothing.
The only thing I add to a master channel is just a Fruity Soft Clipper. And I barely even do anything to that, but.
So like, what's the definition of a soft clipper, Greg? I don't know this shit.
I don't even know. It just, look, it sounds good, okay?
It should be in.
It worked for me.
So you got your BeatStars page, you got everything else. So let's talk about like, okay, from there, like what do you do? Because I feel like that's what producers get stuck at. They got the BeatStars page, they got the beats, they got the equipment. And it's like, damn, what I do from there? So as far as like, what was you using to sell your beats?
YouTube. Well, I just started using YouTube. I just kind of took a break from that. But definitely put my beats on YouTube. Post snippets on Instagram. You can also do, Twitter is kind of like rocky because it kind of depends on the audience of people who follow you. Like, because I know if you're a producer, most of your followers are going to be other producers, so it's kind of hard to get sales. But I typically post on Instagram and YouTube.
So what was like, which one was the best one for you? Was it Instagram?
Definitely Instagram. Like, I'm telling you, it was so easy to make a couple $1,000 just off posting 45-second snippets of certain beats. Because the way I would do it, I'm like very strategic in everything that I do. So like I knew the artists who would follow me, they liked such and such types beats. So I would post those kinds of beats like every single post. And it would work for me every time.
So let's say a producer makes an Instagram page right now. Like he's just starting fresh. He has the beats. He makes an Instagram page. What should his page look like as far as like bio and what he's posting on there?
Well, I feel like it kind of depends on the type of person you are. Like if you're a private person, you won't really, show yourself too much. I don't know. Some people are like that. But I feel like if you're just starting off, definitely you kind of want to have a brand established on your Instagram, like make it noticeable of who you are and what your name is, and what you do. If you're a producer, you kind of want to have that obvious. Producer, just a picture of you maybe cooking up or on your laptop or just something, I don't know. And then like a video of you cooking up and, just some beats on your page. It don't have to be nothing too specific, but I feel like those are some basic things.
Can you give us some sauce on like directing the artist from like looking at the video and hearing the beat to your actual link in your bio? Like are there special things that you do to make them listen to the beat? And okay, now I want to go and actually go to the website because there's a lot of artists that's like lazy. They don't really like, you know what I'm saying, that whole process.
Well, it kind of just depends. Like you'll have some artists who are like very professional and be like, yo, I seen you posted such and such beat on your page. What's the name of this beat on your store? I really want to listen to the full track. I want to hear it for myself. So you'll have some artists like that. And then you'll have some artists who are like, yo, I really like this beat. Can you send it to my email so I can hear the full thing? And I'm like, no, like you can hear the full thing on the store. But in terms of what I typically do, usually what they would do is most of them would like hear what they needed to hear from the 45-second snippets that I would post. Because when I would like post my snippets, I would do the intro, the hook, and the verse. So typically they're like, okay, I heard everything I need to hear. I want to buy this beat ASAP. So they'll just reach out to me and be like, yo, do you have Cash App? Do you have Apple Pay? Like, how can I pay you for this beat? And then once they like send me the money, I just email them the files depending on what license they bought.
So did you have like an intentional way that these artists are finding you to actually find your Instagram? Because I know there's a lot of producers who might have 100 followers and have like 100 videos of beat snippets. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no artists coming. So like, how are you having artists come and find your page and stuff like that?
Well, I will say I was definitely at an advantage because I used to have this music blog post me a lot. So a lot of the followers from there, they have like 1 million followers now. But a lot of the followers from there would like, see me and then just automatically come follow me and just come fuck with me. And then now these are people who've been following me for like the last 2 years. So now we're kind of locked in, I guess. But that's typically what works for me. And then they tell a friend, that friend tells a friend, and then now I just have all these networks of artists following me.
So you advise like PR and getting publicized.
Definitely
and stuff
get
like that.
into like having other pages post you. The pages that are more dedicated towards artists, like have them say like, yo, da 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 da, this is such and such cooking up. What y'all think about this beat? Something like that makes a big difference.
So like you ever ran like ads on Instagram?
I try here and there, but I only run them for like maybe 2 days, and then I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
So it was mainly just like paying other people to promote?
Well, I don't know if I can talk about it, but it wasn't really like a paid thing. It was more so a partnership type thing where I was affiliated with them. And so in return, they would post my videos. So it was kind of free, if you will.
So like, would that still be effective in 2021? Like,
absolutely.
So like, what's like other like techniques producers could use for like people to find their pages now?
I don't want to say hashtags completely entirely, but I say don't give up on the hashtags. But also just reach out, go under other artists' page and say like, yo, but like be genuine about it. Like, yo, I love such and such. If you want it to work, I'm a producer and I got beats for you. Something like that. I don't know. But you could do something like that. Cause that's what I was actually doing in the beginning. Like I used to do that on the page that went into a partnership with me. I used to be under their comments doing that myself. So I say definitely don't give up on the idea of doing that. Tap in with other artists. Just go reach out to them in their DMs or just follow them. No, simple stuff like that.
How y'all feel about Instagram bots?
I don't know where they come from. I don't know their purpose. But you know what? I'm not going to say I'm 100% against them.
I ain't against them either. I don't know why people be.
Yeah,
I feel like people use them the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like that GFX comment and shit. I don't fuck with that.
I'm sick of hearing, bro. I'm sick of seeing the comment that's like, "Yo, you won, DM me." You know
that like, too. And I have something long and hard. I'm tired of that too. Cause I'm like, or I want something long and hard. I don't know.
So you never used like an Instagram bot before?
I haven't, but I won't say that I never will. Because I feel like a lot of them are very strategic if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, like I feel like
I feel like it's something to use if you literally can make it organic and you're actually building organic relationships and you're not like going to other producers DM saying, "Hey, look, like bro, I have a lot of fake pages DM me saying, "Yo, check out such and such beats. He's selling this many beats," or check out such and such beats, and they don't have any followers. It's like a whole bunch of fake pages. Like it's weird, you know what I'm saying? Just don't make it weird to where it just looks like you know what I'm saying? They take your value all the way down because we like, bro, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? This message not even for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm trying to find a producer that gonna talk about it and like really like fuck with the bot. Cause I feel like I know like I seen it was like a course I seen like 2018, 2019 where he was basically saying like don't do the comment and shit or nothing. He was using a bot called Follow Liker. He was like the trick is what you want to do is you want to follow people like other producer accounts that sell beats. So for example, like you, or like let's use like Gabe Legion Beats or like Curtis King, where they have nothing but artists commenting on their page and stuff. And what the bot's gonna do is gonna follow the people who like and interact with their page. So they know they gonna follow you. You feel me? And that's how you grow that traffic. But I feel like niggas take it and they just comment, do that GFA. That shit be blowing me, bro.
I feel like anybody like that's doing this should just never forget that you have to have some type of personal connection. You know what I'm saying? It's never just gonna be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Just forcing somebody to come and buy. You have to actually make sense. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to buy nothing from a robot. You know what I'm saying?
So when you posting these snippets on your Instagram, is it just you like recording your phone, or is it like an actual like, what's it called, like a visual like graphics, or what does it look like?
See, a lot of people like to overthink it, which is perfectly fine. It's all your preference. But with me, all I would do is like email myself, because I don't have Apple. So I would just email myself. Well, I don't have a MacBook. So I would email myself the beats or whatever and just screen record them in Gmail and then just post them. Well, no, I lied. I actually would I would save them to my files or whatever and then screen record them from my files so it could look more fancier. But that's all I did.
You delete them like, do you leave it up there for like a day and then delete it?
Typically what I used to do is I would keep them up for like a week. So I would post like on certain days every time, 3 days a week. So once that week was up, I archived them and then just post some more sets.
Okay, so like for the producers who don't know, why would you archive instead of delete them?
So, okay, when you're like trying to be like a brand or whatever, you'll have people who will like give their input on how aesthetically your page may be or not be. So you'll have some people say, no, you have too many beat snippets on your page. You need to take some down, or, oh, it doesn't look cute, or it doesn't look so presentable. So that's when I would archive them. And then especially if they're like maybe like 2 months old and nobody's really hitting me up about them anymore, I just archive them.
So when you posted these beats on Instagram, is it best to like have like a niche like of who you want to target? For example, like when you post on YouTube, a lot of people say like you want to stick to like 2 artists like Lil Baby and like 42 Doug. Is that the same thing? Like Instagram, you targeting just like people who interested in a certain type of beat?
Honestly, yes, in a way. Like when I would post mine, I would only post Lil Baby type beats, Pain type beats, and just like one random beat that I thought was just so fucking good and I want everybody to fuck with it. So I would only post maybe like 5 beats each post. So I would do 2 Lil Baby beats because that's what my followers like the most and would engage with the most. So 2 Lil Baby beats, 2 Pain beats, and then just 1 random beat. And then that method worked every time for me.
All right, so I'm putting you in a scenario. So you get a DM from an artist who's interested in a beat. Kind of run us through, like, what does that DM look like? I know producers say a lot of shit that, like, stray artists away. So, like, run us through, like, I don't know, like, run us through, like, a scenario of a DM.
So, okay, let's say I post some beat snippets and then an artist will send me my post and be like, yo, I want beat 1 and beat 3. So I'll be like, what did I used to say? I haven't done this. I haven't done this in a while. So I'll be like, what I used to do is I used to screenshot each license that I have and like crop it so they can see all of the features and the price. That way I don't have to go through a list of things and they could just see for themselves. So I would send them screenshots of my licenses and I would say, okay, how do you want to pay? That's all I would say. And they'll be like, let me do Cash App. Okay, my Cash App is such and such. Which license do you want to do? And then they'll tell me. And then while they're sending me the money, I'm already having the files ready. So like if you get the MP3, I'm only gonna send you the MP3. So and then they'll be like, okay, I just sent the money to whatever. My email is such and such. Boom. Okay, I just sent you the beat or the beats. Just like that.
So why would you do it like that? Like, why would you not offer the like the link, like the straight? I know BeatStars have like a straight direct link.
Good question. Because when you give them the chance to think about it and to go to your store and say, okay, your price is this much. I don't really know if I want to do that. But by sending them the shit just automatically and just saying like, yo, like, how do you want to pay? It's like you're making them feel like kind of rushed in a way and making them feel like I gotta respond because you're asking me all these questions. So let me just go ahead and respond. But when you say, okay, you like beat 1 and 3, okay, here are the links for those. It's like you're letting them leave. You know what I mean? Like leave the conversation. So I'm like, no, I want to keep it going. Like, where you want to send that money? Like, that's how I am.
So what are like some things producers say that kind of like stray artists away from a DM that they shouldn't be saying? Or what some things producers be doing?
Okay, one thing that I know for sure will stray somebody away is if somebody is interested in something and you start going all over this legal shit, like, okay, well, if you use this beat, I require this, this, and this, and this. It's like some people don't really understand that language. So when you try to throw all that on them, it can be very overwhelming. And they're just like, okay, never mind, I don't even want it. So stuff like that, especially just with loop makers in general, like, oh, but with the loop making, that's kind of different because you're sending your loops out to a whole bunch of people. You want to make sure you're protected. But in terms of like talking to artists, my throat getting dry. A lot of them just don't understand the language. So you kind of got to be simple with them.
What's kind of describe or like explain a situation of an artist who hits you up who necessarily like they don't really buy beats or they're not really trying to buy the beat, like they want a free beat. Like how do you kind of like work around that?
Okay, so for example, if somebody's hitting me up and I could tell that they have no interest in actually spending money, I'll just say, when you really want to work, here's my store. You can find whatever type of beat you want on there. Everything is very labeled. Here are my prices. I have deals going on. Buy one, get one free. And then I just leave it at that because it's like, I'm not going to keep playing with you. It's either you want to buy a beat or you don't. Like,
So have you ever like offered like free beats on your site before?
of course, I actually have this funnel going on where it's like, you can get 5 beats for free. And then afterwards, the beats are going to be sent to your email. And then it just directs to this whole other page of me just trying to sell them a beat bundle.
Yeah, let's talk about the songs.
Yeah.
So I see on your ebook you talked about email, like email automation and stuff.
Mhm.
And like for them to subscribe to your email, you will offer them a free beat. So kind of explain like that whole system, like what's going on there from them signing up to the emails.
Right. So it kind of works in multiple ways. Like one way that it works is if you try to download a beat from my store, you have to enter in your email first. And then once you enter in that email, it's like, cool, you'll have the free downloaded version of that beat, but now I have your email. So it's not like you just got something for free and then you're never going to hear from me. Like, no. So it's like, now I have your email. Now you're on my email list and now you're going to be basically directed back to that funnel that I was just talking about. Oh, and then if you buy a beat, you get added onto my email list and then I'm sending you right back to that funnel. So those are 3 ways that it works.
So as far as the email list, what are you using? Like what's the platform you using?
Aweber, A lot of producers try to use MailChimp. I personally don't like it. I feel like it's overcomplicated and regulated. So
They be going crazy on the spam shit, bro. Like, they'll shut you
Yeah.
down quick.
yeah,
They don't put you in the primary, right? You be tripping.
I mean, it depends. I just know, like, if you send too many emails, they'll shut that shit down.
yeah. So I'm not team MailChimp.
So as far as email sequence, like, producers don't know, like, as far as like an email automation, like, how do you make it like personable to the artist?
I want to say in that first message, show your appreciation for them being interested in your beats in general. And, you know, just give a brief background of who you are and what your purpose is and how you plan to connect with the artist. Then in the other emails, you're just continuously trying to connect. Well, in the other 2 emails, you're just continuously trying to connect with the artist. And then maybe around them last couple emails, start trying to, you know, push a product that you're trying to get them to buy or whatever. And then if they're just not buying or just responding or letting you know anything, you know, send one last follow-up message like, hey, I seen you didn't purchase such and such. Do you mind telling me why? You know, there you can figure out if they have a budget issue, if they just don't, you know, really rock with what you're trying to sell, or if they're in a situation where they just want to buy it later or something.
And this could all be automated with AdWeber, so it's not like you're like getting up in the morning and checking and sending. This is all like automation.
Right. As long as they're subscribed to a certain email list that you're having the email sequence on, them emails are going out unless they unsubscribe. But
so as far as the email, I know the end goal is to sell the beat pack, but why would you use the beat pack instead of like, oh, just, you know, like a sale, like buy one get one free for my BeatStar? Like, why is your product the actual like beat pack?
Because with the buy one get one free, everybody's doing that. So it's like when you're trying to sell a beat pack of what, maybe like 20 beats for like $20-something, somebody's gonna say, somebody who's like, you know, really locked in making songs and may have a budget, they're gonna be like, yo, that's perfect for me. I can get 20 beats for only what, $27? Yeah, let me get that. It kind of comes off as like irresistible.
So are you thinking about other producers that's on Instagram saying, bro, fuck that business model, that shit trash, or you not thinking about that?
I'm able to pay my bills with this business model, so.
No cap. So why you think producers like be so pressed about it? Like, I don't understand. Like,
honestly, I believe in if somebody else is doing something that you want to do, but you don't know how to do it or you can't do it, you're gonna talk shit about it. So that's why they do that.
Well, let me ask you this. With selling beats in general, like everybody's on YouTube, Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Do you think there's like real longevity with this? Selling beats online?
Absolutely. This same conversation was brought up maybe like 10 years ago when people was on SoundClick, I don't know, doing whatever, and they was having this conversation. People are always gonna make music. People are always gonna need beats.
So do you use a SMS list or like text marketing?
See, I've been thinking about it, but I haven't had time to really like get into it. So no, I don't.
So like going back like off what we were saying as far as like why producers be pressed, I feel like I don't know, like you could do free beats, you could do clip funnels, you could do BeatStars. Like a lot of times when we be posting like different producers' perspective on here, they feel like we be siding with like each one, but it's really just saying like this is why we do the interviews, is like to show everybody like you don't have to do it this way. Right. You don't have to do it this way. It's like whatever fits for you. And you a real good example because you selling beats online, but at the same time you had placements. So let's talk about your first, like how did your first placement come about?
That was really a case of some people letting me be a part of an amazing opportunity and just throwing me an alley-oop in a way. That's how usually a lot of placements work nowadays. But that's mainly how that worked. But then it was like, once I did that, I was like, okay, the money's cool, but I definitely shouldn't give up selling the beats in order to just chase some industry stuff because it'll be a while before that money pile up and you could like really live off of it. So I was like, I got to make sure I'm still doing both. So
your first placement was the NLE Choppa placement? So like just to get more into detail, like as far as was it directly through you or was it like kind of like explain like the situation of how it happened?
So it was basically just, like I said, just some people throwing me an alley-oop and letting me get on the opportunity that was going on at the time and, you know, just allowing me to get on the beat. Because it was like kind of like a sample clearance issue. So they had to technically like remake a beat or something like that. I think that's how it went. I can't really remember. But that's really the basis of what was going on. So it was just a matter of, okay, we have these beats made. Which one is he gonna pick? So he ended up picking the one that we made, and then yeah.
So this was through like more like a collab.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's talk about collabs for a second. Like, is that like can you use collabs as like a main way to like really get placements?
Absolutely. You know how many like loopmakers are just living in damn, I don't know, Greece, but running up placements because they sending them to the right people and collabing? Like, collabs are probably the easiest way to get placements. Like,
For sure.
So let's talk about like producers. Like, we got some like, what I'm saying, like 16, 15-year-olds. They don't have like $300 as pocket change. So like I'm a producer, I want a placement. Who should I be hitting up? Like, for example, like of course artists, but besides artists, like who should I be hitting up to get these placements?
honestly, just really anybody who you feel like you could really work with. Like for example, I don't know. I'm gonna use Section 8 as an example. Like, let's say you're a loop maker and you feel like your loops could really fit Section 8's sound. Just be genuine, hit him up, or anybody like that. Just hit them up and just be like, "Yo, I've been a big fan of your work for some time now. I've been really wanting to work with you, and I feel like my sound could really mesh well with yours, and I just want to see if I'm able to work with you. Where can I send you some loops? Something simple like that."
So I know in your interview with DJ Pay One, you was talking about a placement you got through a A&R.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I forget what placement was it?
That's how I get all of my placements.
So let's talk about A&Rs. Like, how should a producer approach an A&R to send beats?
Really, with A&Rs is kind of not really tricky, but you don't really have to overthink it either. Just introduce yourself. Hey, my name is such and such, and I'm a producer from such and such. I was wondering if I could send you some such and such type beats. All you gotta say.
That's that simple.
That's all I say.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. Kind of producers, they be sending long they sad
Yeah,
stories
don't do
and
that.
shit.
Like, usually a lot of A&Rs are like hella busy, so they're gonna read your message real quick, and if it's something they're interested in, they're gonna hit you with an email address or hit you with whatever. But if not, they just gonna keep it moving. So don't send no lengthy ass paragraph. Just keep it short. Stay who you are, state your purpose. Boom.
Do you have some type of like agreement with the A&R to where they receive like a royalty percentage or something?
Not that I've been aware of. I haven't been in a situation like that. I know some probably are like that. I've definitely ran into some engineers like that I've definitely ran into some engineers like that. So I kind of don't really work with engineers. I just kind of work with the same group of A&Rs every time because I know it's going to be the same type of business transaction. So
if a situation came up like that, like you're working with an engineer or A&R, and because they got it placed, they want like a percentage of it. Is that something like you would like work with, or it's like nah?
It depends on how they try to come across it. Like if you're telling me, hey, like if you reach out to me, right? If you reach out to me and just say you really want to help me and whatever, and I'm thinking like, yo, like this person genuine as hell, like they really fuck with me. Of course, I'm gonna send you some beats for whoever. Like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. But then when we get some shit plays, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take such and such percentage. I'm like kind of thrown off guard because I'm like, well, you never discussed that with me type shit. So some people are like that. Like they'll tell you they want to help you. Then once they help you, they try to take a percentage. And then it's like, when you kind of say, well, we never talked about that. They try to make you feel like you in the wrong for saying like, whoa, like where did this come from?
So what type of value exchange are you expecting if somebody's going and building a relationship for you or putting something through the pipeline? And I always, like I say, my boy Architect Beat says, rule number 1, you don't owe anybody anything. Rule number 2 is they don't owe you. But still, with that type of value exchange, don't you expect both parties to receive some type of benefit?
Oh, absolutely. But my thing is, if you never talk about it with me, and then when something happens, it's like, oh, well, it's gonna be such and such. And I'm like asking you questions because I'm kind of confused, and you start trying to make me feel away, then that's different. But if you tell me right off rip, hey, okay, if I do this for you, I'm gonna require this, this, and this. I have the decision then to say, okay, let's keep going. Like I want to definitely move forward with that. Or I have the decision to say, you know what? No, I don't really feel like that makes sense to me. I'm not gonna do nothing with you. So like even when I'm doing stuff with other producers business-wise, I tell them right off rip, hey, if I do such and such for you, this is what I require. They have the option to say yes or no. But you know in advance versus once I do something for you.
Yeah, I understand.
So in these situations, it's best to like handle the business or make the business clear first before y'all keep working on music.
Intentions first. Cause I'll be sitting here thinking you really like believe in me and you want to help me, but you're just money hungry. So it's just like, you know what I mean?
So as far as that, so that's business first. But like, let's say other situations like working with independent artists. Should you necessarily like the first conversation should be the business or should it be the music? I feel like producers, that's what they'll fuck up too. They'll go in the studio and be like, oh, I need 100 for pulling up. I need 100 for this. So how would you approach that type of situation?
Intentions. That's the only word that comes to mind when I think about these situations. Intentions. What are your intentions with this artist? Artist, what is your intentions with this producer? Is your intentions on, I really believe in you, I really fuck with you, let's build this shit for the long run and let's try to stack up some money together? Or is it a case of, I really want to work with you and here are my prices per hour type shit? So, intentions. Just lay the intentions on the ground.
I feel you.
So as far as platform, I know like everybody knows Instagram, Twitter, what else? YouTube?
Facebook.
Yeah, so we have all these platforms, but like what are other platforms you could use to find A&Rs, engineers? Buddha said DJs too. What are other platforms to find these type of people that you could use?
Which ones did y'all already just say? You said what?
You said, what's that? IG, Facebook.
Twitter.
Yeah, IG, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know there's one you listed on your ebook. That's the one I'm looking for.
I don't know because that's what I use. I only use Instagram, occasionally Twitter. But I feel like some people try to use Google, like they'll try to search up an artist and you could actually, you know what, I'm lying. You can actually use Genius. Genius is how you can find A&Rs for certain
damn. I only think about
artists
this
and stuff like
Facts. All the credits on there.
So I seen in your ebook you said Clubhouse too.
that. I said, okay, yeah, Clubhouse.
So producers don't know what that is. Like, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on there no more, but it was definitely a lot of rooms where A&Rs were like listening to beats from producers in the room or whatever. I had got some opportunities from stuff like that. But I'm not on there no more, so I can't really, speak on it. But there's definitely opportunities like that. But for the most part, I just do Instagram and Twitter. Mainly IG, because that's the easiest.
So as far as Clubhouse or just like talking to artists, like how important is like being vocal? I feel like a lot of producers, they tend to be shy when it comes to talking. Like, how's the communication?
Really, I feel like if you're very vocal and you're like confident in your beats and your presentation and just what you're trying to do with this artist and what you can do for this artist, I feel like artists look at you differently. Like they feel like, okay, you got some hard ass beats and you introduce yourself and you already know like what you're trying to do. Let's get it. Like some artists are like that, especially in studio sessions.
All right, so I'm put you in a scenario. You at the club, right? And let's say you backstage or something, and you see Lil Baby. Are you gonna approach him or?
That's different because 9 times out of 10, he is not thinking about no beats at the club.
Facts.
So it just depends on the environment. If you're like in a studio and you happen to see Lil Baby in a session and that person who's in control of the session allows you to come in, that's the time to say, yo, Lil Baby, I don't want to disrespect your session or whatever, but I got some hard ass beats I think could really I think you'll really fuck with. Just you being confident and taking that leap, like, I want to play some beats for you. That artist may say, you know what? Go ahead and let me hear your shit.
Have you ever faced like rejection before? Like a nigga just be like, no. Ain't want to fuck with you or something?
Honestly, no, because I feel like I do have an advantage being a female. Like if I'm last night I was in a studio session, and Trinidad James was there. And they was playing beats for Trinidad James, and I was like, well, I got some beats. Trinidad was like, okay, let me hear your beats. Just because I'm like, I'm a girl. People think I'm just there to support whoever. Like, no, I'm a producer here. I got some beats. But in terms of like rejection, no, I don't think I've ever gotten that.
Let's talk about these rooms. Like, how you get in these studios rooms?
Honestly, a lot of times I really don't even be in studio sessions. It's mainly just from knowing the right people and me being at home on my computer way in San Antonio, Texas, and then making plays in Atlanta. Like, really, I feel like it depends on who you know. Like, if you know the right people and then people are actually working hard for you, you don't always got to be in the room. You just got to have your shit ready.
So you have a manager?
I guess kind of, sort of, people who manage my stuff for me, but not really managers.
So before we get into the music business, we got this segment called Overrated Underrated that we do. So basically, I'm gonna just mention a topic, and you just say if it's overrated, underrated, and you just say why, your reason. So the first thing is traveling to cook up beats.
I feel like it's underrated. I mean, overrated. Overrated because, like I said, it's motherfuckers living in Greece, Europe, France, who got plaques. You know what I mean? It's just, get locked in with the right people who are actually like really working, they can really turn you up.
Damn, I didn't expect you to say that. I thought you was gonna say travel. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I'm not a traveler.
I like hearing that though.
For real?
Yeah.
All right, next one, paying for placements.
It depends. I'll say, I don't have an answer for that. I'll say it depends on your situation. If you're in a situation where you feel like, you know, paying for a fucking, I don't know, Euro Got It placement will really help you boost your brand and, you know, what you're trying to do, and you agree with the price, okay, cool, that works for you. But if you're trying to pay for a placement just to pay for it, just to say, oh, I got a placement, I mean, it just depends on what your purpose is by paying for it, I guess. But I'll never do it because I don't really need to. But
So, yeah, so all right, so goddamn, whoever manager, whoever call you, be like, yo, I got Drake right here. This nigga said 2 bands. You can pull up right now and play some beats.
I'm gonna pay for a Drake placement because 1, that's fucking Drake. 2, I'm gonna have the 2 bands. 3, that's gonna really turn me up even more than I am right now. So it just depends.
But like, should producers be worried about other producers' opinions?
No. You know what? It depends. If they're paying your bills, yes, depending on what they're talking about. For real, depending on what they're talking about. But if you're not making no money from producers, no.
All right, so the last one is you DM an artist, the artist ignores your DM, and you DM him back. Like you just DM again or something. Is that overrated or underrated?
Okay. See, y'all gonna hate me because I'm gonna keep saying it depends. Okay. So with this type of person I am, I get bothered very easily. So it's like if you keep DMing me, I'm gonna keep not checking out what you keep DMing me about. But then you might come across somebody who's like, you know what, you keep fucking DMing me about something. Let me hear your shit. And if your shit is hard, I'm gonna fuck with you. If it's not hard, you're getting blocked. I'm kind of that person. So if you feel confident in what you're trying to, you know, get that artist to see or hear or do, keep DMing them because you never know what kind of person they might be. But just be prepared if they block you or if they curse you out. So it just depends.
You ain't never DM somebody and then you see that shit, so you liked it, so the notification pop back up.
Nah, because people
I
did
hate
to me.
that.
I be tweaking.
I did that shit a couple times.
Yeah,
So like, I don't know if I asked this question. I forgot if I asked this question already. So a producer, is it effective when a producer DM you and say, yo, what's up?
No. Because if you're trying to reach somebody who's like very productive, very busy, always on the goddamn move, 9 times out of 10, they're going to ignore that message because it's like, okay, what do you want? Like, get to the point. Like, skip the small talk. Why are you DMing me? Especially with a lot of business-driven people, you got to get to the point with them. So nobody just wants to, yo, what's up? Oh, hey, nothing. What's up with you? Nobody wants to do that. Nobody got time for that. So just get to the point.
All right, so let's go back into like your first placement. So what was your like second placement after that?
I can't remember. I can't remember if it was Jackboy or Light Skin Keisha.
So like, okay, explain. Let's do the Light Skin Keisha one first. Like, how did that one come about?
That one was a case of, I think Keisha was in the studio one night and the A&Rs who I'm locked in are affiliated with Keisha. So they were just like playing some of my beats and she felt like mine were different from what she was already doing. And so apparently she was just like, yo, I got to jump on that right now. And then that's how that.
And what about the Jackboy one?
I think that was another case of somebody throwing me an alley-oop, letting me be a part of a collab situation, and then that beat happening to get placed with Jackboy.
All right, so let's talk about collabs. I seen in your DJ Pay One interview, you were saying there was a situation that occurred where I think it was like 2 loopmakers on a loop, and it was just, you know what I'm saying, it was a little shaky. And you were saying how basically they got a little bit less than what you had. So like, okay, so I'm putting a scenario. You got you put drums on the loop, and it's 3 or 2 loop makers on the loop. Is you splitting everything 50-50, or they got to split their side all together and you get your half?
Lord, y'all probably gonna post. Y'all gonna post this, and they gonna goddamn crucify me. But I'm the type where it's like the drums are half of the beat, the melody is the other half of the beat. So if it's 2 people on the melody, that's half of the damn 50 already being split between the 2 of y'all, and then the other half for the drums and the arrangement and everything else that I did for the damn beat. So. But I will say in the industry, I'm noticing if you have a higher status than, whatever loop makers you're affiliated with and getting placements with, 9 times out of 10, the person who has the most placements or most achievements will get the most money for whatever reason. But in terms of like the royalty splittage and percentages, it's pretty much all the same. Split evenly.
I ain't gonna count. I done seen a nigga, he like executive produced the album, but like this nigga just threw his tag on the beat. He ain't even make that motherfucker. Bro.
On every beat.
Yeah, like it had nothing to do with his ass, bro. Nigga just threw his tag on it, bro.
That's what they do.
So like I don't know, bro. How we supposed to feel about this shit, bro? Like I don't know.
That's what I'm noticing. Every industry producer isn't like that, but I do notice most. I'm not gonna say most, but a lot of them are like that. And then a lot of times it's not even just them. Like it'll be like their management saying, "Oh well, hey, such and such got all of this and this and this. He deserves at least this." So sometimes it's not even a producer saying that.
I mean, I don't know how to feel about the situation where it's like the producer makes the beat, and then the big brand producer or executive producer who doesn't really even make the beat is, you know what I'm saying? That should get the credit.
I mean, I'm gonna be reasonable. Like I got a manager, and it's real simple. Like. You know what I'm saying? I either make loops or we send out beats and I throw his tag on it. But that's like a manager contract, you know what I'm saying? And like that's just a sacrifice I took for me to get placements. This ain't really a sacrifice, it's really an opportunity. Cause since then I done got several placements, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know, like, it's really, I don't know, like, you feel me?
I feel you. I think when it's down on paperwork, and it's guaranteed, I feel like that's more solid. You feel me? Like you said, your management, that's your situation, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's working in the system, but I can't speak for the others. I hear a lot of stories. I ain't gonna say no names, but
I'm saying, I seen a situation. It was nigga. It's from our team. Goddamn, we sent the beat off, and nigga from all the way over there, done put his tag on the shit. And our tags off that motherfucker. Like the fuck, nigga. Like, yeah, bro. So I'm put you in a scenario.
Okay. Again, child.
All right. So Metro Boomin, 21 Savage. They working on the album. You just sent the beat. You ain't never talked to Metro or nothing. You just sent the beat. It got placed. 21 hopped on it. And then all of a sudden, it's on Spotify or YouTube. Your tag ain't on that shit, but Metro tag on it.
But who did I send the beat to?
They ain't send it to Metro. It got placed with 21.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a 21 Metro album, so Metro tag is on it, and your tag either at the back of that hole or it just ain't on it.
Okay, and what's the question?
What you doing? What you doing from there? Like,
what am I doing? It depends. If Metro's tag is on every single song and nobody else's tag, then I'm like, okay, it's a Brandon album type shit. But if it's like, okay, everybody else got their tags on every other song but mine, I'm gonna feel some type of way. Cause I'm like, this might be why my tag not on it. But everybody else got their tags on theirs.
I had situations where they tell me straight up like, yo, bro, we don't want this tag up here in the front. Or they literally chop the beat up right where my tag is. Like, you know what I'm saying? It can get that serious where it's like, hey, bro, we don't want that tag on there. And I've been like, okay, cool. Like,
I'm gonna be real. Nigga hit me and say he don't want my tag on that shit. I'm finna be like, all right, I don't even like my tag, bro. I'm finna be like, all right, bro. It is what it is. But at the same time, I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's a thin line. It's blurred. It's like a blurred line on like what sacrifices producers should take and what they should not take. I feel like we gotta clear that shit up, bro.
That's facts. To keep the respect for the producers. A lot of producers don't respect themselves as a brand. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta respect each other first, though, bro. We too busy attacking and shit. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like on like nigga looking from the outside in, like it's like, cause like every time, we can even a part of this, bro. I'm gonna say we a part of this shit too. But I will post something and it's in the comments. It's just a whole bunch of producers arguing about bullshit.
Right.
Like producers arguing about the definition between a beat maker versus a producer.
Oh my god.
Like nigga, like okay, what's your input first?
Y'all know my motto. As long as my bills paid, I don't care what you call me, okay?
Fact, so I don't know, like niggas be why producers so like why is it like toxic? Like I know you was talking about this in DJ Payne interview. You was talking about like the toxic community. Like why that shit so toxic, bro?
Really, I feel like okay, when I did that interview, I based it most of it on the pandemic and how people were just locked in, whatever. It's been what, maybe a year and a half later. It's definitely just envy and people just trying to be so involved in the trolling culture on Twitter. And I'm just like, you're like for one example, I'm gonna use this example. I'm not gonna say his name, but like last night, I had said something like a general fucking, this is my Twitter, I'm gonna tweet what I want type shit. And somebody gonna say, oh, you're one of those types of producers. I go click this man bio and he got aspiring industry producer in his bio. I'm like, dude, you aspiring to be what I already am. Like, don't try to troll me. Like, you embarrassing yourself. So it's just like, you have people like that. I don't know, but
It's a lot of producer ego. Most of the time, a lot of the negativity and the toxicity is from the producers that don't really have that much going on because they got way more time to pay attention to everybody else.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right, that too. Bored.
Yeah. I advise everybody to stay positive, and even me, saying for myself, just a lot of negativity, just not to feed into it because, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying? We live in the present, you know what I'm saying? We making moves. A lot of people don't see that. They don't know what's going on. So, of course, they're going to put everybody down because they just watching from their phone, So, we got to always remind that if we're really in the action working, these people not really doing anything. They just seeing from the outside in,
Oh, I know. Well aware of that.
Glad you said that, bro. I be feeling like these niggas full of shit sometimes.
Nah, it's there. It's there. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Let me chill out. Okay, we're going back to so let's talk about like music business. So let's use your first placement for example. So you get your first placement. What's the business step from them sending you the paperwork all the way from you getting paid? Like what does that look like?
What time is it? Do I got time to talk about it?
You ain't got to expose nobody.
No. I'm just gonna be very general, very blunt, very upfront about it. If you don't have a team of people helping you, it's gonna be very difficult for you to even get paperwork, right? So it's like I have a very solid team of people helping me, like down to the entertainment attorney, manager, whatever you want to call it. I have all those people. But even with having those people in place, sometimes it's like shit is still even difficult for me just to get paid the correct way. Like you'll have labels who will try to pay you half of your money, this month, if you're lucky, and then they'll send the other half fucking whenever, Or you'll have labels who won't even try to pay you at all. So it's just like, what was the question again?
Nah, you kind of answered it right.
Did I answer the question?
Yeah, you answered it because I say I respect you for answering that way because a lot of producers cry independent and artists. Everybody cries independent, cries handout. I'm not letting nobody do this and not letting nobody do that. And you're like, yo, I have a team that's making sure this gets done because I know for a fact by myself it's going to be too difficult. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I respect that.
I feel you, but like to get into more detail, I know a lot of producers, like it took me a while, like.
Oh, I know what you asked me. I just remembered. What was the steps? Yeah. What were you saying? Continue.
Okay, so you get a placement. Are you hitting up that label and be like, hey, I'm the one that made this beat, or is they hitting you up?
So it depends on, well, in my experiences, I'm noticing it depends on how you got the placement. Like, were you connected with an engineer? Were you connected with a manager? Were you connected with an A&R for that label? If so, 9 times out of 10, those people are going to be the ones telling you, hey, you got a placement with such and such. Somebody from such and such department is going to reach out to you. What's your email? So they can reach out to you. Sometimes you'll get people like that. Then in some cases, I feel like it's happened to me before. I can't really remember. But in some cases, they'll just drop the whole song and then you find out, oh, I got a placement with such and such. what's the paperwork? Who do I reach out to? Like, what? So then you'll have to go scavenging around trying to figure out, trying to just go down the line of who you sent that beat to, reaching out to them, and then having to wait for them to respond to you and then tell you who you got to reach out to. So it can go one or two ways, depending on how you got the placement.
All right, so they send you the email. What's that email saying? Like, what's happening in that email?
So typically what the email would be is them saying, hey, we're gonna put out such and such song, such and such. Do you have management who we can reach out to? Or they'll probably try to ask you, they'll probably try to already have a budget that they're gonna pay you for the beat, or in advance that they're gonna pay you for the beat. And then some will ask you, do you have management who we can reach out to? It can go one or two ways.
Okay, so
Or they might do both.
So to backtrack a little bit on your first placement, did you already have a lawyer, or did you have to find one at this time?
No, the actual team who I work with, they have lawyers in play and stuff like that. So I was able to use them in that situation. And that's how that worked.
So was it a situation where you like paid a lawyer up front, or he took some out your advance?
I can't really remember how that situation went because it was a little while ago. But you will have some who will say, we'll charge you like a fee, but most of them I'm noticing will take like a small percentage from your advance.
Okay, so that second email, like, or it could be in the first one, but what are like things like, it's like, for example, like publishing, like what's being offered in that email to you?
Honestly, the standard, like if it's like, you produce the whole beat, okay, 50% for you, 50% for the artist. If it's you and a co-producer, 25-25. If it's 3 producers, split evenly. So I feel like labels are pretty good about the publishing, making sure everything is split, everything is what it's supposed to be. But you'll have some who will try to leave out the master recording points and who will try to make you think that you can't get any points on the song or on the album. So that's a situation.
Damn.
But yeah, you'll have some like that. And then you'll have some who'll make sure everything is there. You can read everything. It's all there. So it just depends.
So we got the publishing that you're talking about, and then we have the advance. But what is that royalty point? Like, what is that for producers who don't know?
Okay, I can't speak 100% confidently about it because I'm not that expert in it. But it's like, I want to say the standard rate for producers in terms of like points on the album is like 3. So if it's like 3 producers on the beat, everybody gets 1 point for that record. If it's just you get the full 3. If it's you and another, split evenly. But in terms of explaining it, okay.
What was it, like 3 cents per sale or something like that for the point?
I don't really know.
Something like that. It's like
3 cents
per album sale or
something.
something.
Yeah, 3
Nigga,
cents.
Roland just said 8 cents, but niggas said that won't it. I don't know.
For real?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know.
Somebody's gonna have to validate in the comments.
We gotta get a lawyer in here.
I don't know.
We're gonna bring Lamont Graves on. See what's going on.
Okay, so let's say the agreement's finished. Yeah, I come to terms. What does payment look like? Because I feel like I want producers to understand it's different for every situation. You might get paid like before, or you might get paid months after. But what's that payment look like?
So it just depends. If they already dropped the song, you might run into a situation where they're gonna pay you the whole thing, which is fucking great. Or you might run into a situation where they're gonna pay you some now and then some 4 months from now for whatever reason. But if they haven't dropped the song, you'll run into a situation where they'll be doing paperwork with you. Goddamn, February 1st. The song's not coming out until May 1st. So it's February 1st. You have all your paperwork filled out and everything. But they're not going to pay you until that week before the song is about to drop. So it just depends. And then you'll have some who will pay you as soon as you finish the paperwork.
So when should a producer like come out and be like, man, I ain't get paid yet. Y'all niggas tripping. Like when should a producer start exposing or going? You know how they do the rants on Twitter and Instagram? When should a producer do that? Do you even suggest a producer doing that? Getting to that point where they start like going on Twitter and be like, I ain't get paid. Niggas stole one shit.
All that crying shit.
I won't say crying. They gonna fry us for it. I won't say crying.
I'll say if you have, your management and your attorney who's like constantly doing these follow-up emails and you keep getting the damn runaround, sometimes that scenario and that retaliation does make them expedite shit because they're like, okay, we getting exposed. Let's just try to handle this situation. Sometimes it does work in people's favor, but then with that, it'll be a situation where they'll pay you, but they'll never work with you again.
The bridge is burnt.
Yeah. So, but then again, I feel like if you're trying to get paid from people and they just refuse to pay you, I wouldn't even want to have a bridge with them anymore anyway. So
Yeah, that's smoke. That's smoke.
it just depends.
That's about it.
I think we gotta get more female producers. I like giving out sauce, man. Other niggas don't like giving out sauce. So as far as like for Monique Winning, like what's next? Like what's next for you?
That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked. So I'm actually, I just became partner with Twitch. So I'm streaming on there now. I'm giving out a whole bunch of game, live cookups, cooking up with loops, depending on the subscription tier that you're in. I'm gonna have at least 2 tiers for sure. So like if you're in at least tier 1, you'll be able to send me loops and then I'll cook up with your loops if I like them. On the live stream. And then I'm also gonna be doing events on my streams where it's like, I'm gonna spend money on 3 lucky producers every Wednesday and Sunday. So basically, I'm gonna have my Discord set up to where you'll be able to send me 2, depending on the subscription tier that you're in. You'll be able to send 2 beats for submission in a way, and it's like I'm gonna listen to those 2 beats. If I like them. If I like one of them, I'm gonna buy one of them, but I'm only gonna spend money on 3 producers. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna be doing like Q&A sessions. What else? And then I'm gonna spend an hour every Sunday going over at least 1 chapter in my ebook. So like if you have questions, if you just don't understand something in the ebook, that would be the time to ask them. We could chop it up.
So let's talk about this ebook though. What's this ebook about?
So the ebook is How to Become a Successful Online and Industry Producer. Basically, me going over 20 essential topics that relates to being an online and industry producer. That relates to like getting placements, getting beat sales, reaching and connecting with other industry producers, branding, setting up your brand, making sure you have an official brand established, mixing beats, arranging beats, like literally everything you could think of. I talk about it in this ebook.
I actually gotta talk my shit for a little bit. So
okay,
let's use the ebook for example. I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm just using the ebook for example. I see a lot of times producers that buy something like a course or something, and they see the same shit like, oh, be consistent. What's another thing? A lot of people say, follow up an email or provide value, and producers be like, oh, this is some bullshit. This is a scam. Like, you feel me? And I feel like, because that's one of the things, like, I brought hella courses. Like, you can name every course in the book. I done brought that shit before, like, I joined ProducerGrind. And, like, I seen the same shit, and I would get mad, but I look past that shit, you feel me? So, like, being consistent, I look past it. I'm here thinking it's, like, a secret, like, a top secret. Like, it's this app that niggas holding back from me that I need to find when it's really just a whole bunch of different components just added together that makes that business model. And I feel like producers need to stop overlooking that. Like, you need to be consistent. You need to, you know what I'm saying? So, like, when you get this ebook, because I just got the ebook this morning. So, when you get this ebook, I feel like you need to take all the points, all the values, and put it together. You're going to have a dope business model for sure.
And that's another thing I want to add on to that. A lot of producers think it's really some secret patty formula, Krabby Patty, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They think it's like this big like mystery, like, oh my God, I can't figure this shit out. No, a lot of it is basic shit. You know, reach out to A&Rs to help you get placements. Like, that's really what motherfuckers are out here doing. Like, find them on IG. It's super easy. I go over how you can find them on IG. Reach out to them. Collab with industry producers to help you get placements. You know, fill out the metadata when you upload beats to help you get more beat sales. Like, that really makes a difference. Like, it's little things like that we keep saying that you should do. People just refuse to do them, and they're just like, well, that ain't it. It's some other shit that you're doing. Like, no, like, this is what it is. It's not hard, but it's not necessarily easy. You just got to be patient and just be consistent with it, and then you'll see the results.
Hey, that's it. That's a wrap. We appreciate you for hopping on here. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all follow Monique Winning. Make sure you get the ebook. It's like shit cheap as. What is it?
It's not even $20. It's $19.99. 100 pages full of gems, full of producer gems. You could go to the site and literally read all of the reviews that people are saying. And I've only had this book out for 2 months, if that. So
That's pretty much it, y'all. I'm trying to think of something else I could say real quick.
Anybody you want to shout out? Any producers, up and coming artists?
no, just me. I mean, no. I definitely want to give a shout out because a lot of producers were like really rooting for me to get on here and like really talk about some shit. So if you like really, if you're one of the producers who like always is rooting for me and you always want me to go on wherever, do whatever, I really appreciate you. Like, if you're one of the ones who take time out of your day to fucking tweet about my ebook or just tweet about how hard I am, I fuck with you. Thank you. I'm shouting you out. So.
We gotta get more female producers on here. They be leaking souls.
Yeah.
That's a wrap, though, y'all. Just remember, though, like, we already talked about this, but, like, this is just another business model that you could use. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go the ClickFunnels route, you could do that shit. If you want to go Instagram, you could do that. Twitter, if you want to do YouTube, BeatStars, nigga, ads, it don't matter what you do. Like, there's no law to this. Like, it's not one law book on how to sell beats, bro. So don't watch a video and see this nigga say this and, oh, this is, you have to do it. Like, the reason why we do these interviews is to show you don't matter what you do. Like, it don't matter what path you take. It worked out. Like, it worked out for her. It worked out for this nigga. It worked out for this nigga. So, like, do what's best for you.